Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm going to show you some stuff which is going to blow your mind in this video today. So what's going on? What am I going to show you? Let's do a guide on Coldheart. And I'm going to talk you through why I still think she is the best enemy max HP champion in the game. Even for the later new dungeon level 21 to 25. Some of the max HP champions have been hit really hard. Like Septimus for 21 to 25 is basically pointless. No point having in your team. Raw Guard, I think, has come down the rankings because I wouldn't say he's pointless. I think he's got some utility, but he's not as good. I think Husk maybe rises up a level, but I think Coldheart is right at the top. So why is that? Two reasons, actually. So firstly, she has got turn meter control. And even though against 21 to 25, that turn meter control is halved, it's still half of a 100% turn meter drop, which is huge. It's a huge, huge ability that she's got. So what we're going to do, let's just run through what she can do. I'm going to show you how to build her normally for anyone who's kind of leveling up through the game. And then we're going to get into the level 21 to 25 stuff. And I'm going to show you stuff, as I said, that will blow your brains away. So let's talk about what she can do first. We've got an A1 4-hitter. Crazy. Not many champions in the game hit 4 times on an A1. So this is actually insane. Especially when you think about Fire Knights. Fire Knight, 4-hitter, and her AI makes her only do her A1 unless the Fire Knight shield is down. Just take that in. It also plants heal reduction 100% if you ascend her. This A1 for Fire Knight, it's the best A1 in the game for Fire Knight, without question. Through all legendaries, everyone, doesn't matter. This A1, because of the way they've coded it so that it always works if the shield is up, it's the best A1 in the game. Okay, we've then got an A2, AoE hits reasonable numbers, nothing too crazy. Chance to place decreased accuracy, which is actually a good debuff as well. And a chance to put poison out there as well if we've got heal reduction going on. So poison when heal reduction's on is kind of nice. Again, for Fire Knight, it's going to give you a little bit more damage if you can't keep that shield down. But really, this is just a bit of an AoE, and it's filler. This is a filler ability. That's all it is. And then we've got the main event. Dun, dun, dun. What we got here? Attack one enemy. Decrease the target's turn meter by 100%. Okay. Now, it doesn't say decrease the target turn meter by full. And sometimes the turn meter goes beyond 100%. So sometimes if you see a turn meter flick back and it's like still at 20% or 30%, that's because the turn meter actually went beyond 100%. Okay. And when we're talking about level 21 to 25, this is actually going to be a 50% reduction, which is still very strong and still critical for Spider and Fire Knight. Also, she gets 30% more crit chance for this skill, which makes her super simple to build. People don't understand this. She's one of the easier champions to build in the game. Okay? One of the easier champions to build because you only need 70% crit rate. Okay? This does need accuracy to land. It like literally drives me insane the amount of people I see not build accuracy into their Coldheart. Everything so far I've told you about needs accuracy to land. If you want to know how much accuracy you need, take your dungeon level, times it by 10. Okay, so if you're trying to do the new 25 stuff, 250 accuracy. If you're trying to do the old level 20, 200. If you're on level 10, at least 100 accuracy. Take the dungeon level you're on, times it by 10. Now, in terms of masteries here, depending on where you are in the game. So if I'm earlier game and I need things like accuracy, then I take this support tree. Accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. Evil Eye's super strong, gives you a 20% turn meter drop on a skill. This is really good. And then on the other side here, let's remove me. I go crit rate, crit damage, harder hit against people when I'm full health. I swing back round to harder hit for the first time. I swing back round to an extra 6% damage when I'm attacking people with higher health. It's almost everyone. Every PvE contest is going to proc this. And then I end on Helm Smasher for the biggest nuke. If you want a consistent nuke rather than the biggest nuke, you take Flawless Execution. And if you, I think I might have a second. Let me see if my second one is built differently. I used to have a different build. Not that one. No, I don't. Okay, so if you are struggling particularly against a Fire Knight shield, this is not as relevant since she's changed her A1, to be honest. But if you're getting hit by the Fire Knight, then switching out of support tree and coming into defense tree and getting retribution is a really good way. When you take a hit, you retribute, you do a retribution hit, and you get 4 more procs into that shield. So this mastery here, if you're struggling with Fire Knight, is a really good one. Now, in terms of gearing, for old school content, anything up to level 20, I'm looking for 70% crit rate. Forget my gear, forget how good my Great Hall is, all that sort of stuff. Just understand what I say. 70% crit rate. Accuracy required is based on what level you're fighting, but take your dungeon level, times it by 10. I then want enough health to stay alive. This is the order, guys. Crit rate, accuracy, health to stay alive, as much speed as I can get after that, and then as much crit damage as I can get after that. Okay? So ideally, you have 70% crit rate, minimum 200 accuracy. You have an HP chest on to boost your HP up to like 35k plus. You have a minimum of 180 speed, and then you just punch crit damage through the roof, and you try and do some big nukes. If you can put your Cold Hearts later on, when you've got the gear, into Savage gear as well, they hit even harder, but it's not a requirement. And I tend to try and go crit damage gloves, HP chest, speed boots. Okay, that's it. And then everything else, I'm looking for those stats I've spoken about. Crit, HP, accuracy, speed. Yeah? All of them basically following the same path. So this is the old school build. If you are very early game, you might switch crit rate gloves instead of crit damage gloves. The rest of it should be the same. And honestly, you should be out of crit rate gloves pretty quick because you only need 70% crit rate. You should be able to get 70% crit rate through your substats fairly early in the game. Okay, but if you can't do that, then you switch to crit rate gloves because you need 70% crit rate. You want to be going crit damage on your amulet. You want to be going for HP on your ring to make sure that you're not being targeted by the mobs. And ideally, you want accuracy with some speed on it on your banner. Okay, so this is the old school build. I'll just show you. I mean, I've got a really endgame team for Fire Knight here, but I'll show you what it does against Fire Knight in an old school team. 2 of them I've got basically built the same. This is perfectly kind of speed tuned to make this crazy, but you'll see what this team can do. So initially here, Seer's just wrecking stuff. This isn't a Seer video, so let's pretend that she's not doing that, and let's just admire Coldheart for a while Seer's doing all her thing. Look at that, nice. Look at that stance, beautiful. Right, on to Fire Knight then. So what does she do here? Shield's got 10 ticks to get through, and she is going to start pumping A1s into that shield for us. Get the shield down. You see their turn meter drop because of that mastery. And then we get to this point and we're saying, please drop some defense for us. Whoever you've got, Lydia for me, because it makes my Heartseeker do a ton more damage. But she didn't get a weaken away, which would have made us do another 20% of damage there. And that run would have been over if the weaken had landed. And at this point, because we didn't kill him straight out, we're then landing things like our decrease heal reduction, we're landing our decreased accuracy, and again, we get poisons away. So, you know, these two together doing a ton of damage on the boss. They'll do exactly that same ton of damage on the spider as well. So if we take ourselves into a spider 20 run, and this can work anything up to spider 20. The one thing you need to be aware of is you need to stop the ads coming after your Cold Hearts. So you either put in some form of affinity tank, like I've got here with this tank, or you put in, or you just make sure that HP is higher than the person you want to tank for you. So in this instance, we might run a team that's got a bit of control in it. Let's just take one of these out. Let's go for Seal for our control. We've also got control here in Mr. Frost, and he can just act as our tank as well for this one. I do want to drop defense as well. Let's use him. And I do want to... Maybe I do just run the 2 Coldheart so you can see it happening. Sure that's the right one. It is. Okay. So with this sort of comp then, what are we doing? We're controlling the spiderlings with freezes and stuns. We're dropping their damage with our stag. And then we've got a decreased defense here on the spider so that we can lay the nukes, basically. Here comes the freezes. And the turn meter drop here. So we've got the 100% turn meter drop on stage 20. Bam, down to 0. Look at that. You see I've got a slower Coldheart for my second one. So if you were lucky enough to have 2 and you were doing this type of build, bam, dropped it again. We actually didn't get a crit there. Maybe that's not my right Coldheart. Maybe I put the wrong one in the end. Because that should have pretty much killed him. This is fake Coldheart. Fake Coldheart's coming in. You'll see this one going off in a minute. But you see the idea. Pretty much from this point on, all you're doing is cycling back round to when those Heartseekers are ready again. And you just need to keep your team alive. So if you've got shield champions like Brogni, Miscreated Monster, Sir Nick, they will keep your team alive. Whilst, bam, the Coldhearts start to fly out. This is definitely not my right Coldheart on the other one. And honestly, for Spider and Fire Knight, she is one of the best champions in the game. I'm not saying the best rare, the best champions. Okay, she's up there with the big boys. She's up there with anyone gold. Okay, so, and you can see here that really, yeah, we've got no HP burn going on. We've made a bit of a mockery of this fight, even though one of these Coldhearts has basically got no gear on. So that's my wrong Coldheart. But there you go. So slam, dunking, Spider 20, no problem at all. Now, let me show you something that is going to blow your mind. Okay, so stage 25. This team's not going to win the day. I just want to show you something quickly. So stage 25, I've got someone in there for drop defense. I've got my 2 Coldhearts again. Now, why do I think she's so good for 25? So let's drop defense here with Madame. Going to get Mr. Freeze, freezing stuff up. So good for this fight. Okay, so we then got a Heartseeker coming out from our damage one. So this is the one I just showed you the build of. Crazy high multipliers, all that type of stuff. Like 250 crit damage in Savage Gear with Helm Smasher. And we smack for 773,000. So it's a max. I can't get more than 10% damage on this fight. Okay, that's what they've changed. I can't do more than 10%. I would need 10 Heartseekers to get this job done. I still think, though, that she's great because she dropped that turn meter back for me. And that turn meter drop gives me enough time to get the work done, okay? Second Coldheart. What I want you to guess below in the comments, how much crit damage do you think this Coldheart has got? How much? Let's see what the hit does. Slow this bad boy down. Pop. 769. So she's about 4k short of a max Heartseeker. Yeah, we've just seen the max one here from Mrs. Loaded. Yeah, this new Coldheart that I built today, 4k short of the max damage. Let's check out a build. This is why, and don't forget, we still want her to drop turn meter, okay? But let's check out the build and see what is going on with this new one. Look at this. And the reason why I've not completed the build is I just want to show you how little crit damage she needs to do a full nuke, as long as decreased defense is down. 87% crit damage, and she hit basically a max nuke as long as decreased defense was on. So what does that mean? Why am I trying to show you this? Why am I making a big point of it? Well, for 21 to 25, you build your Coldheart totally different. Totally different. As long as you get yourself a decreased defense in the team, you build her super low crit damage, you still hit your 70% crit rate, you still get your accuracy where you need it. I don't have it here because I was trying to prove a point, but you still want 250 accuracy to deal with the level 25 dungeons. But after that, you don't need the crit damage, so you just build more survivability and you build as much speed as you can. And I honestly think the best build for her at this stage of the game is Relentless Gear. So forget what we've done before you go as fast as you can into relentless sets. And what you want to do is just try and get defensive stats or accuracy. I don't have that much accuracy on this stuff, so we'll go with whatever I can do. But you just want defensive stats. So you want an HP chest still, but this time we're going for speed and accuracy on it if we can get it. I don't know if I've even got Relentless Gear like that. There we go, speed and accuracy, perfect. And then I don't need any more crit rate. I don't need any more crit damage. So my gloves become HP gloves or defense gloves on your Coldheart. Makes me want to puke, but it is what it is. And then I'm just looking for more speed and more accuracy so that I get my numbers where I need them to be. Honestly, maybe I'd rather just go speed set here instead of, what's this piece doing for me? Ton of crit rate. So maybe I'm looking for crit rate on a set of gloves like this or like this. Maybe it's a perception set you want. Perception gear to give you your accuracy boost. But if you can do your Coldheart in Relentless gear, I think it's the best because all you're trying to do is cycle back round to your Heartseeker as quickly as you can. As quick as you can do it. So actually, I think Perception gear is going to be the way for the extra slots. If you can't do Relentless, fine, you can't do Relentless. But if you can, I would massively advise it because all you want to do is cycle back round to your Heartseeker as quick as you can. I don't need crit damage on my amulet. I don't need any more crit damage. So I can actually pick up a nice juicy amount of defense or HP on my amulet and maybe try and, if you can, grab a bit of accuracy alongside it. And then all of a sudden you're boosting your defensive stats in case you do take a hit. And you see how different the build is compared to what we're normally doing. Couple of hundred speed now, tons of accuracy, 70% crit rate has stayed the same. I don't need much crit damage, and I've got a 44k HP Coldheart who can actually now take a bit of a slap and not fall down straight away. I don't even have any Masteries on her. I don't even have Masteries on her. If I did, I would be looking for things like Evil Eye, drop turn meter on that A1, really important. It's only going to drop it by 10 instead of 20. Still really important to keep that turn meter down. I'd be looking for things like Cycle of Magic, trying to cycle back round to my my Heartseeker ability as quickly as possible. I'd still want the accuracy from this tree, so I'd probably go support tree. And then, honestly, in offensive tree, I mean, none of the ones that we've just shown are really doing anything. They're not really going to give you any more damage on a level 25 fight. So you don't need stuff like the Heart of Glory. So maybe you even go defensive support and keep her alive. You know, you look for things like Laura's Steel to boost your speed. It's just a completely different requirement. And in my opinion, it's a far easier build when you're looking for 21 to 25 Coldheart compared to what we've been doing on up to level 20. So I think we end up doing something along these lines. HP burn here and drop defense for me. I've got my Heartseeker in here. Doesn't need to be Venus. She's just the one I've got built. Could be anyone. Could be a Tyrell. Could be anyone who drops defense. We've got freeze. We've got burn. We've got support. We've got Heartseekers and a bit of turn meter. And obviously at stage 25, if the spider gets a turn, she hits hard, but not so hard that you can't deal with it. So we get the freeze out nice and early. We get the drop defense out next. Honestly, if I was ordering Venus to do whatever she should do, I'd want her to do HP burn first. That's what I prefer. HP burn's out now, though. Heartseeker drops maximum damage. And we've got the turn meter drop. And obviously, because she's in Relentless gear, we've got a chance to get an extra turn. If she gets the extra turn, then we cycle back round to that Heartseeker quicker. That's all we're after. The other thing you could do with her Masteries is get her to go for Giant Slayer or War Master. War Master if you're just using her for Spider. Giant Slayer if you plan to use her for Fire Knight as well. Because you don't need the crit damage hit. You don't need it anymore. So we've lost our tank support unit. Hopefully we don't just drop down dead. If I know Seal, she'll pick it back up. There we go. And all we're really doing is just, between this team, we're waiting for HP burn to go out again. There it is. And we're waiting for that Heartseeker to just give us that turn meter drop again. So they're going after a mixture of Coldheart and Vodoff at this point. Vodoff gives us a lovely amount of healing. There's the Heart Seeker. So we dropped the turn meter by 50%. And at this point, we're just relying on the HP burns to finish the day. So crazy how different her build is when we're talking about level 21 to 25 dungeons. And I still feel like she's better now than Septimus, better than Royal Guard, better than... I feel like she's better than Armiger for sure. And I think she's kind of like... I think Husk maybe jumps up a level. But there you go, guys. Look, Coldheart, still insane. Still worth your time. Definitely for 21 to 25. But it's just a completely different build. She becomes the support champion that does a good hit alongside your HP burn kill streak. So there you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. That's Coldheart marked 3.0 now, I guess. I will see you later.